So I recently discovered JP Fans. Now it's a proxy service that helps you find unique and hard to find Japanese items like toys and models. Now compared to other proxy services, they claim to have the lowest service fees. And you can browse the website for items in lots of various categories or even use their search engine to find more specific items like I did. And now they all have multiple language options, which is really convenient. So after browsing their RC results, I ordered a couple of interesting items, and now they've arrived. So I'm eager to dig in to examine what I got and fondle them in person. So let's get started. All right, so let's open her up here. I have not seen these since I saw them on the website, so this is freshly packaged. We're gonna see how they do the package. It's been a really interesting process getting these things. Coming from overseas, you kind of select your items, and then they use a brokerage to locate them and find them. They have like a little warehouse, so temporarily store them, and then they'll contact you and say, hey, we got your stuff ready, this will be the shipping costs, and yada yada yada. So it's been really neat. And so let me get this out of here. Come on, get out of here, I don't care what you smell. So it's really cool in that, oh wow, I didn't even realize that. So that you can find interesting things that you would never find in the States. So I saw this and I just had to get it. This is a Yamato, obviously the famous battleship from World War II, Japanese. It's branded as Toys R Us, but obviously I don't think there's ever been any Toys R Us in America. And it is radio controlled by the Kyosho company. Kyosho is very well known in the US, although they were really big in the 80s and 90s. They really kind of fallen by the wayside in the 2000s, but they're still kicking. And so that really caught my attention. I said, wow, a neat little RC controlled battleship from Kyosho, something I would never find in the States, I've never seen. And so I just had to have that. I do like this channel, of course. We see a lot of RC airplanes, but I also like boats. So I'm really curious to see. It's always a little tricky buying RC stuff from overseas because sometimes they use different frequencies and other things might be an issue. Be careful with anything with batteries. This is a really interesting package in here. So there is a nice little sheet here. And so there's the ship made by Nichimo. So Nichimo is a pretty well-known, well at least was, plastic model kit in Japan. And so this actually looks a lot like a plastic model. And it basically is. This is interesting. So it is, you get basically a plastic model, which is fine. I don't have that. Little small pool-sized plastic model. You've got the hull, the top part of the hull here. You've got the guns and all the greebles and whatnot. It's pretty neat. So that's kind of what I expected. I thought, yeah, this is going to be kind of a plastic model kit. There's instructions. It's 1/600 scale. There's some, you got some scale details. Kind of goes together. I'll put that aside because that's something interesting. So nothing, pretty much standard fare. We got kind of a big instruction set here. Now this is interesting. Apparently, this model at one point was motorized. You can see that there is instructions showing a single motor, some battery hookups, maybe a switch. But that's no longer done. Now, obviously, this is one of their older kits. You can see the artifacts of what used to be a motorized toy boat, probably for a couple of D cells or C cells, probably, and stuffing box for the prop shaft and whatnot. So obviously they took what was a motorized toy model and modified it to use this, which looks like a module. There's a controller and there's a little propulsion module, a submarine motor. So this is what it says, submarine motor. So I'm going to take a look at this real quick. And this is interesting because this is a way of, oh, look at that. I think I know what this is. Looks like a connector, some sort of charger thing, maybe. Oh yeah, there you go. Looks like you can throw a couple batteries in there. 4 AA's. and maybe a stand of some sort. And we'll pull this out real quick. So this is neat. It's probably a little old school. I don't know what this date's at. It's probably a bit old because it says, I saw it on the box here somewhere. Where did I see it? I just saw it. It showed the frequency. Yeah, here it is. I'm running the thing here. 27 megahertz is on this module. This is the propulsion module. There's a couple of propellers. And this looks like an antenna. There's a rudder. Oh yeah, there's a little working rudder here. 27 megahertz is perfectly legal in the United States, which is good. You've got a controller with the antenna. This is gloriously retro. I really think this is neat. So you got the antenna. You've got, I guess, forward and backward, and forward and backward. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing it's got a tank-like drive system. So you go right, left, forward, back, and you've got your antenna. It looks like a 9-volt battery goes in there. There is this module. I don't see any. Oh, here it is. So they got a supplemental set of instructions that show that you Velcro this to the bottom of the hull. I'm looking at the instructions right here. They show the little module goes in the bottom. So you build a model kit basically as a regular model kit, and you attach this to the bottom of the hull like that, and you've got it's crude but effective, but it's fine. I thought this was kind of neat. Well, maybe just the other way around. Somehow this has double-sided tape. You stick it on there, and you've got a differential drive, and I'm pretty sure this comes off. There we go. So it's got a little, that's neat. Sort of a headphone jack kind of thing. It's inside the cap. And then you just plug that in to charge it. And with some batteries, it looks like there's a little light there. And that's it. That's pretty neat. It even comes with some Velcro for attaching it. So for a little cute little pool toy thing, I think that's pretty neat. I think that's really nice. All right, so next up is, of course, there's a little bigger box. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this as well, because when I saw this on the website, I said, oh, I got to have that. So far, they've been pretty well packed. Looks like they use just the right size boxes they need, and with a little bit of filler. Oh, look at that. Yes. This time, it's something for the air. A little indoor, I presume, airplane. Again, from our friends at Kyosho. And again, something I've never seen in the States. In fact, I had never seen this before at all until I saw this on the website. I said, oh, look at that. This looked like a really neat kind of system here. We got the transmitter and the plane and the stand. Feels really light. So I thought I'd take a look. Let's take a look. Hopefully everything's in there. Obviously it's used. Whoops. Ooh, ouch. So I should mention that a lot of stuff is used. I knew that beforehand. That was a used thing. I think they marked it as used. So this was obviously seen a little bit of road rash. You've got the transmitter. And 2.4 gigahertz, which is good. This. You've got what's like the stand. Oh, there's actually a little battery. Because I had gotten some emails. They were concerned about batteries and these things. And so there's a little single cell 700 milliamps. Oh, 70. Look at that quick. But it's got a standard connector that we've seen in a lot of the little UMX and microplanes, so that's good. In case the battery's not in any good condition. The plane, obviously, it's seen better days. The first thing I noticed, there is a hole in the wing. There's a little bit of hole in the wing. There's a little bit. It's going to need a bit of some TLC. It's certainly flyable. I mean, I can fix this up. So I think a little bit of a light dab of some epoxy, a little bit of tape. That feels good. There's a thing for the battery. I think for the novelty of it, you know, this is what you get. Well, you pay your money, takes your chances. So still really neat. I think for, you know, despite some of the hanger rash, this is going to be a really neat little plane to fly around indoors. I fly indoors on occasion, or those days when it's really calm when I go to events. And it'd be really neat to have one of these because it'd be totally unique. People ask, what the hell is this? Excuse my language. So that is pretty neat. So I guess this is the charger unit. So I guess the plane sits on top somehow. Maybe like that, kind of on the charger. And on the bottom, just where you get the battery here. There's a section here where you plug in the battery, it looks like. There you go, and I presume you put some AA batteries in there. There you go. So it's actually really pretty neat. So this is, you know, the whole point of this service of JP Fans is to find kind of the weird and unusual stuff. A lot of times it's used, and they plainly say that on the site, of things that you can't find in the States. And so I think in that service, it's pretty neat. I don't recall, I think on the site they didn't have a picture of the actual plane, so I didn't know it was going to be this damaged. But, you know, it's okay. I'll fix it up again and fly it. I mean, it's certainly flyable. And it's very light, too. This is super light, so this should fly really well. Look at that dihedral. Since there's only rudder, elevator, throttle, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a video of me getting this thing back together and show you how I'll fix it up and get it flying. We'll get some test flights out of it and see how it runs. And I did get the manuals, which is pretty nice. Got a whole bunch of stuff. 2 manuals, radio and whatnot, in 2 languages. I think that'll work. Stick that in there. And there we go. Very lightweight. Wow. Well, there you have it. My very first order from JP Fans. And I'm pretty intrigued. I think it's maybe a slightly bit of a mixed bag, but I think overall a positive experience. And it's been really, really neat. I did actually see some other stuff on the website. One thing I tried to get, I wasn't able to get, but there's been other things. It's obviously a continuously rotating thing of things. As a person that's been to Japan several times, I've always find that going to the hobby shops, you find some really cool stuff, especially the ones that have been around for a while. You find things you don't find in the States, old RC planes, old plastic kits, all kinds of neat stuff. And I think that's where this will come in really handy, is if you find that weird thing that you know you're never going to see in the States, or it's going to be really hard to find, you go and find it. It may be used, it may be new, but at least you have it versus not having it at all. So I understand JP Fans, they offer a free storage period of 60 days. So it's they claim that's much longer than any other proxy services. So you have time to find multiple stuff and maybe save on shipping and shipping multiple things at the same time. Now they also have a partnership with Mercari Japan, which greatly expand their offerings to pre-owned and resold items. Now JP Fans homepage also offers an additional Mercari coupons with I think a 50% discount, and you can get up to 8 coupons worth a total of something like $86 by registering with JP Fans. So I have linked all that stuff in the video description. So thanks for watching me along, taking out these goodies.
Hi, thanks for watching. Please take a look at the video description below for special HobbyView sales and discounts. Your purchases help support this channel. Happy modeling!